All right, hello Bay Area residents. Welcome to this webinar for the Bay Area Air Quality Management District's Clean Heating Efficiently with Electric Technology, or Clean HEET program. My name is Megan, and I am pleased to share details about the program and application process today. Joining me today are my colleagues, Cynthia Wang, who is in charge of webinar administration, and Jessica DePrimo, who will be answering your questions later on. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items so you know how to participate in today's webinar. Here is a screenshot of the Zoom interface. You should see something that looks like this on your own computer desktop at the bottom of your screen. You're listening in using your computer speaker system by default. If you would prefer to join over the phone, select the up arrow to the right of your microphone button, which will pop up a menu. Select the switch to phone option and enter in the dial-in information in your invite email to join by phone. Please be aware that you will not be able to unmute, use your video, or share your screen during today's presentation. Today's webinar is being recorded. You can find a copy of today's presentation, program documents, and the online application user guide for you to download on our website. The webinar recording will be posted on our website in a few days. You can also email us at woodsmokegrants@baaqmd.gov for copies as well. Lastly, you will have the opportunity to submit questions on today's presentation by typing in your questions in the chat section using the chat button and send it to the Questions Jessica account or to everyone. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation. We will answer them in the chat or during the Q&A session at the end. We will only be able to answer questions during the webinar received through the chat and will not be taking live audio questions or calling on anyone who has a raised hand. In this presentation, we will first share a little information about the Air District. Next, we will provide an overview of the Clean HEET program, including requirements, eligibility, and award amounts. We will then discuss the project process, including the application, project work, and reimbursement process. Lastly, we will share some additional resources we've prepared and how to access them. Here's a little background on who we are. The Air District was established in 1955, and it is the first regional air pollution control agency in the country. We currently serve over 7 million residents located throughout the 9 Bay Area counties. Our mission is to create a healthy breathing environment for every Bay Area resident while protecting and improving public health, air quality, and the global climate. One of the ways we achieve our mission is by providing grants to reduce pollution. That brings us to our Clean HEET grant program. We have approximately $2 million available for projects that reduce emissions by replacing freestanding wood stoves or wood-burning fireplace inserts with electric heat pumps. Electric heat pumps are the cleanest available heating technology at this time. This is a scrap and replace program, meaning that your wood-burning device must be scrapped in order to be eligible. Projects that replace one wood-burning device can receive $3,000 to $10,500, with most projects receiving around $6,000. Actual award amounts will vary depending on the number of wood-burning devices being replaced, the age of the devices, and if the applicant participates in an eligible low-income assistance program. We will go over these details in a later slide. The purpose of this program is to reduce wood smoke pollution from wood-burning heating devices. Particulate matter is a form of pollution that is very harmful to public health, and wood-burning devices are the #1 source of this pollution in the Bay Area every winter. Funding for this program is limited, and although all Bay Area residents are eligible to apply, funding will be prioritized for projects within communities most impacted by pollution. We will elaborate on those communities in a later slide as well. There are an assortment of other programs offering clean home upgrade incentives throughout the Bay Area. Our program can be stacked with other programs to minimize costs, so long as the other programs do not take credit for emissions reductions. This program is made possible due to funding from the EPA Targeted Airshed Grant Fund. Now let's discuss some eligibility basics. In order to be eligible, applicants must be the legal homeowner of the home where projects will take place. These homes must be within our jurisdiction and have an assessor parcel number to be eligible for the program. Applicants must also review and abide by the full program requirements, guidelines, terms, and conditions, which is posted on our website. This document provides step-by-step details on the entire process. It will be the best resource for anyone interested in applying. Air District employees and anyone who has received prior funding from the Air District for wood-burning devices are not eligible to participate. To repeat, this program is only to replace freestanding wood stoves or wood-burning fireplace inserts with electric heat pumps. Wood-burning fireplace inserts are not the same as an open hearth or standard fireplace, which are not eligible. If you are not sure if you have an eligible device, we will look at some example photos on the next slide. The existing wood-burning stove or insert must be operable. Otherwise, it is not polluting and does not provide any emissions reduction benefits. It also must be indoors, used specifically for heating purposes, and manufactured before 2020. The heat pump cannot be substituted with a different heating device, like an electric fireplace, gas insert, or any other device. This program only funds ducted or ductless electric heat pumps. Here are some examples of eligible and ineligible existing devices for clarity. The left side shows eligible devices, such as the freestanding wood stove at the top and the wood-burning insert at the bottom. The right side shows ineligible devices, such as an open hearth fireplace at the top and a wood stove that is used for cooking, not heating, at the bottom. This slide shows eligible and ineligible replacement device options. The left side shows an example of eligible devices, such as a non-ducted heat pump with the outdoor portion of the heat pump at the top and the indoor portion at the bottom. As a reminder, ducted heat pumps that operate like a central heater are also eligible. The right side shows some ineligible devices, such as a gas fireplace insert at the top and a general HVAC system at the bottom. Now let's discuss award amounts in more detail. The base funding amount is the amount that will be initially offered to an applicant. Please note this is the maximum amount that the Air District will reimburse for eligible costs. We will discuss eligible and ineligible costs in coming slides. The base funding amount offered will vary depending on the number of devices being replaced, the age of those devices, and plus-up funding for low-income applicants. Plus-up funding will be discussed on the next slide. If you are replacing one device with a model year of 2014 or earlier, the base funding amount is $6,500. If you are replacing one device with a model year between 2015 and 2019, the base funding amount is $3,000. If you are replacing a second device, you may qualify for an additional $3,000 in funding. The second device must be replaced by an additional heat pump. $4,000 in plus-up funding is available for applicants that participate in one of the low-income assistance programs listed on this slide. Due to the nature of this program, plus-up funding may be limited. If there are many eligible applicants, applicants will be notified if this is the case. Please note that the homeowner and primary applicant must be the one participating in the low-income assistance program. It cannot be another resident of the home. Here are some examples for additional clarity. In the first example, the project is replacing one wood-burning device with a model year 2014 or earlier and receives a base funding amount of $6,500. In the second example, a project replaces one device that is a model year 2015 to 2019 and receives a base funding amount of $3,000. In the third example, a project replaces one device with a model year 2014 or earlier, and the applicant qualifies for the low-income plus-up. This project receives a base funding of $6,500 for the wood-burning device and an additional $4,000 of plus-up funding for a total of $10,500. In the fourth example, a project replaces two devices. At least one has a model year of 2014 or earlier. The total base funding amount is $9,500. And in this fifth example, a project replaces two devices where at least one is a 2014 or earlier model, and the applicant qualifies for the low income plus up. When we break it down, the applicant receives $6,500 for the first device, $3,000 for the second device, and an additional $4,000 in plus up funding. Adding all of these amounts up totals to $13,500, which is the maximum award amount offered by the program. We realize this is a lot of information to receive. Please note that all of the information we are discussing in today's webinar is listed in detail in the program requirements, guidelines, terms, and conditions document on our website. Now let's discuss reimbursable costs. As a reminder, the base funding amount awarded can only be used to cover reimbursable costs. Costs that are considered eligible for reimbursement are the capital cost of the heat pump itself, including shipping and tax, costs directly related to the installation of the heat pump and decommissioning and disposal of the wood-burning device, costs of decommissioning the fireplace for wood-burning insert projects, and costs for obtaining required permits for the project work. Here we will discuss costs that clean heat funding will not reimburse. This includes any work above and beyond the project scope, such as general remodeling work, gardening, painting, etc. Any work done by the homeowner. Even if the homeowner is a licensed contractor, they are not able to complete the work for this program. Any work not performed by a California licensed contractor is also ineligible. Any costs that do not have appropriate supporting documentation, such as invoice. Any costs that are already paid for by another grant program. And any typically eligible costs that exceed the grant award. That is to say, the amount rewarded is the maximum amount. You are offered $6,500 for your project. We are not able to increase that amount. Please also note that if the total eligible project costs are below the awarded amount, we will only pay for the actual realized costs. If you are awarded $6,500, but your project only has $4,000 of eligible costs, we will only be able to reimburse you for the $4,000. Now that you know who can apply and how much you're likely to receive, let's discuss some of the key requirements. Importantly, this program does not provide funding to projects that have already been started or that are started before the Air District reviews the application and provides an official notice to proceed. If you have already replaced your wood-burning device or started any work, such as placing a deposit or purchasing equipment, before applying and being approved, you will not be eligible for this program. Even after you have applied, it is important to wait until you receive the notice to proceed before starting any work. Additionally, we want to reiterate that this is a scrap and replace program. Participants are required to decommission and dispose of the existing wood-burning device at a licensed recycling or scrap facility. If your project is to replace a fireplace insert, we do also require that the fireplace is made inoperable to ensure that there are no opportunities for future wood smoke pollution. Participants are required to obtain all required permits related to project work and must have all project work performed by a California licensed contractor. The contractor must be licensed for the specific work they are performing. Please note that we also require a completed W-9 form for payment purposes. If you are not familiar with this form, we will be happy to assist you with it. We also require all project work to be completed within 120 days of the participant's receipt of the notice to proceed. Again, if any work has been started before applying and receiving a notice to proceed from the Air District, the project is not eligible for this program. This program does not provide retroactive reimbursements. Before moving on to application instructions, we also want to clarify that due to limited funding, the Air District will be prioritizing projects in specific communities that are overly burdened. At least 60% of available funding will be awarded to projects in the AB 617 communities of West Oakland, East Oakland, Richmond, San Pablo, and Bayview Hunters Point, Southeast San Francisco, or in California Climate Investments designated low income and or disadvantaged communities. Projects may also be prioritized if they are located near sensitive receptors such as hospitals and schools. If we are oversubscribed, projects may also be prioritized based on emissions reductions, which are based on the manufacture year of the wood-burning device that would be replaced. We do encourage all eligible participants to apply. All right, we have now discussed the program overview. You should be familiar with the key requirements and eligibility criteria for the program and have an understanding of the award amounts and what costs can be reimbursed by the program. Stick with us. We are now going to go over the project process. We will discuss the application stage, detailing how to apply and when to apply. Then we will briefly discuss the project work and reimbursement process. This includes obtaining permits, the heat pump installation, the decommission and scrappage of the old devices, and submitting the reimbursement package. To start, all applications are submitted online through our Clean Heat portal. You can access this by visiting our Clean Heat website at www.baaqmd.gov/woodsmoke-grant. Applications must be submitted by July 18th at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. As a reminder, if you have already started project work, you will not be eligible for this program. We do not provide funding for projects that have already been started or finished. Now let's dig into the application process. One of the first steps to preparing an application is finding a suitable contractor. As mentioned, all reimbursable project work must be completed by a licensed contractor. Applicants can find licensed contractors on the California Contractors State License Board website linked here and on our Clean Heat website. Contractor licenses have various
Megan, you're muted.
Megan, can you unmute? I'm sorry, my mouse slipped.
I apologize. I'm not sure how that happened.
That was my fault. I'm sorry,
okay.
everyone.
All right, backing up just a little bit here. Contractor licenses have various classifications, so it is important to ensure that the contractor you hire has a license for the specific work you need done. At a minimum, all projects require a contractor with a C20 warm air, heating, ventilating, and air conditioning contractor license for heat pump installation. Depending on the specific work that needs to be performed, additional types of licenses may be required. Depending on the project, applicants may need to hire more than one licensed contractor. You can search for contractors by license classification and location on the website by selecting Find My Licensed Contractor. You can also check a contractor's license if you already have their information by selecting License Check. Enter their license number or other information and scroll to the classification section to see what type of license they have. Again, look for the C20 license for heat pump installation work. This page is where you can also check to ensure their license is currently active. This website is a very useful tool and has additional resources such as a guide on how to select a contractor and a list of all license classifications for your reference. Once you have selected a contractor, you will need to request an itemized quote showing the work they will be performing to install a heat pump and to remove and dispose of your wood-burning device. Contractors will also be required to fill out a contractor certification form provided by the Air District that confirms the work they performed, and applicants will be required to submit the completed form along with a reimbursement request. As a reminder, reimbursable project work may not be completed by the homeowner, even if they are a licensed contractor. We require a few documents for our applications. First, we require some photos. These include a zoomed out photo of the room that the wood-burning device is in. The photo should include the floor, ceiling, existing device, and any distinguishable features of the room. A close-up photo of the device with the firebox door open. It must show the outer frame and inner ceiling of the device. A photo of the device label, if applicable. This should be close up enough to be legible, but zoomed out enough that we can verify it's the label of the photographed device, meaning that we should be able to see some of the device and/or the room in the background. Beyond the photos, we also require quotes for the project work as mentioned on the previous slide. These must be from a California licensed contractor and list the specific project address and a recent date. If applying for 2 devices, we will need photos and quotes for both. If you're applying for Plus Up funding, we will also need proof of enrollment in one of the eligible low-income assistance programs. This will need to clearly list the homeowner's name and the date the enrollment expires to show it is current. Again, all of this information is in our program requirements, guidelines, terms, and conditions document on our website for your ease of reference. Once the application period closes, our staff will review all applications. We will notify you whether your project is approved, rejected, or waitlisted within 30 days. This may take longer if the application is missing any required information. If your project is approved, you will receive a notification of funding, which will list the base award amount we can offer for your project. Once you review that, you can choose to approve or deny the offer. If you want to continue the project, you must approve it. Once approved, staff will then send you the notice to proceed. You can start your project only once you receive the notice to proceed. There are a couple of important deadlines to consider once the project officially begins, after you receive the notice to proceed. Within 45 days of receiving the notice to proceed, you must obtain any required initial permits and upload them into our online system. Your contractor may be able to help you obtain the permits. Within 120 days of the notice to proceed, the project should be completed and the reimbursement request should have been submitted. I'll discuss project completion on the next slide. Project completion means that the following tasks have been completed. The heat pump has been purchased and installed by a licensed contractor. The contractor has also decommissioned and disposed of the old wood-burning device at a licensed dismantler or recycling facility. If the project was for a wood-burning fireplace insert, the fireplace must also have been decommissioned. Each licensed contractor has filled out a contractor certification form. The final permit inspection should be signed off, and the project participant should have completed all the documents for the reimbursement package and submitted the reimbursement request. The reimbursement package provides us with information we need to make a payment. The package must include the following: 3 after photos, 1 zoomed out photo of the room from the same vantage point as the before photo for comparison that shows the wood-burning device has been removed, a photo for both the outdoor and indoor electric heat pump units. If your project includes a fireplace insert, an additional photo showing the fireplace has been decommissioned is required. You can see this fireplace has been sealed at the top with bricks. Invoices showing a zero balance due for all project work and costs. A signed and completed contractor certification form for each contractor that worked on the project. The final permit approval for any required permits, and a signed and completed W-9 form for the homeowner. The contractor certification form and the W-9 form are available on our website. Once a reimbursement package has been submitted, the Air District will review the package to ensure it is complete and has met the program requirements, terms, and conditions. We will follow up if there is any missing information. We estimate it may take up to 2 weeks for staff to review and approve reimbursement requests. This may take longer if the request is incomplete and requires follow-up. Once a package is approved by staff, we will mail the check to the legal homeowner within 30 days. Please note that checks will only be made out to the legal homeowner. Again, we know this is a lot of information to absorb all at once, so we have prepared many resources to help you through this process. You can find them all on our website. The most important one is the program requirements, guidelines, terms, and conditions document. All interested parties must read through this document to fully understand the requirements of the program, which have been summarized in this presentation. Other resources include a high-level fact sheet, frequently asked questions document, and an online system user guide. This is also where you will find project documents like our contractor certification form and a W-9 form. We have also prepared a contractor information sheet as we do require some action from the contractors, such as disposing of the old devices and filling out a contractor certification form. We encourage interested parties to share this document with any contractors that might be hired to fully inform the contractors of the requirements of a project. We realize that it takes effort to apply and work on a grant project. We hope any participants can feel proud of the positive impact we'll be making on the environment. Replacing a wood-burning device with an electric device reduces harmful pollutants like particulate matter from entering our airways and being breathed in by ourselves and our communities. Replacing even one wood-burning device can reduce as much harmful particulate matter as removing 8 diesel school buses. This means that you breathe easier in your home and help your neighbors breathe easier too. That is a huge and positive impact that you can make on your own health and that of your community. We are also here to help along the way. Please review our webpage and resource material if you have any questions at www.baaqmd.gov/woodsmokegrant. If you still have questions, please reach out to us by email at woodsmokegrants@baaqmd.gov or by phone at 415-749-5195. We have now reached the question and answer portion of today's webinar. As a reminder, we will only be taking questions that are submitted in the chat. You can send your questions to Questions Jessica or to everyone. We are also available after the webinar by email or phone, and you can review the documents mentioned in this presentation on our website. I will now turn this over to Jessica, who will be answering your questions. Thank you, Jessica.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for being here for this webinar. I've been responding to some questions as they came in the chat. And while I give you a chance to gather your thoughts and maybe ask more questions, I thought I'd maybe read them out loud and repeat them in case you didn't catch them, and also so the recording can capture it. So I'm just going to go through and kind of answer the ones that have already been asked. The first question, a participant said, can the replacement heat pump be a heat and AC unit? And the answer is that yes, heat pumps do typically offer air conditioning as well as heating. So a replacement heat pump is allowed to and expected to be both heat and AC. You just have to make sure that it is an electric heat pump unit, not a conventional heater AC. The next participant asked, to confirm, replacement of a wood-burning fireplace insert with a gas fireplace is not covered, correct? And I said, yes, that is correct. This program is restricted only to wood stoves and wood burning inserts being replaced for electric heat pumps. We had a next question. Is a public agency that owns residences eligible to apply? My answer was that if the public agency can provide proof of ownership of the residence, then they should be eligible to apply. There may be some restrictions on this, so please contact us individually so we can investigate your situation. The next question was about contractors. The participant said, I don't qualify to receive a grant for replacing my old wood burning stove, nor get a grant to put an electric warming insert into my home. Sorry, I lost my spot. Could you name a contractor? None will want to bother with my house. I would love to scrap my wood burning stove. My answer was kind of dependent. I haven't heard back from, the participant did answer. I have a big old wood stove which heats the house and is great for cooking, but I would rather have a heat pump. That's great. I mean, you sound like a wonderful, candidate for this program. And we aren't able to offer particular specific recommendations for contractors, but we do recommend that you do your research to make sure you get a good contractor. I posted a website for finding an energy professional that specializes in heat pump installations. It's on the BayREN website and it's in the chat. We also would highly recommend you go to the Contractor State License Board website, and I can put that information in the chat as well. So thank you for that question, and please feel free to follow up in the chat if you have any more questions on that. The next question here, what if I cannot find the label of my wood burning insert? That is a really good question. The label is, if you can't find it, you don't have to include a photo of it. If there is a requirement in the system that says that you need to have a photo of it, I would say just put in a photo of the stove again, or put in a picture of a note, a PDF that just says we're unable to find a label on our wood burning insert. I highly recommend you do not try to remove your wood burning insert in order to find the label. That could disqualify you from the grant, because the idea is that if you start to remove it, then it could be considered work on the project. So if it's between trying to, you can't find a label, we're kind of expect that you're not going to be able to find a label on an insert because it's usually on the inside of the device. So thank you very much for that question. And the next question, do we need a contractor quote when we apply, or can we wait until the funding is approved to look for contractors? You do need a contractor quote when you apply. This is to both show us that you're serious about doing the project and to show you a little bit of the cost investment that could go into your project. It doesn't mean that you cannot change contractors later. So you could potentially submit a quote and then decide on another contractor further down the road. But you will need a quote. It needs to have your name and address on it, and the contractor's name and license number, and the cost for the heat pump. It also should contain information about removing your old wood burning device. And if you have a wood burning insert, it should contain information or a price quote on decommissioning the fireplace after the insert is removed. There can be separate quotes for the HVAC installation and the removal of the wood burning device. I'm going to give it a little pause. I've reached the end of the questions. Does anyone else have any questions or any additional questions to add? Oh, James, I just seen your comment there. You must have a really nice old stove that's like a collectible. I have seen that where people want to keep the stove and like use it or sell it. And unfortunately, this program, we require that it be scrapped. So even if you have a beautiful old stove, it would have to be scrapped. Okay, another question here is, for the requirement of permits within 45 days, are we referring to the permit to remove the fireplace or the permit to install the new heat pump? The permit should be to install the new heat pump, but we prefer that it's all on the same permit, that both the work to install the heat pump and the work to remove the wood burning device are both on the permit. That might, I'm not sure, it depends on your permitting agency. They may or may not require a permit for the removal of the wood burning device. And I've reached the end of the questions again. I'm just going to go scroll through here again to see if any more responses came in. Again, I really want to thank you all for your interest in this program. It's a very unique, very niche program. The eligibility for people is really limited. And so if you do have a wood stove or wood burning fireplace insert and are considering installing a heat pump, we really are happy to have you here and praise your decision to go zero emission. Wood burning emissions account for a lot of poor air quality and poor health. And so we're really glad to have your interest in this program. It looks like questions have slowed down. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. Getting weird lighting in my room. The sun kind of comes into my office strangely at this time of day. So another thing I'll just say while I'm waiting to see if anyone has any more questions is our team is happy to answer your questions one-on-one. You're welcome to call our grants hotline or email woodsmokegrants@vaaqmd.gov, and we will respond within a couple days. And we're happy to chat with you always about your particular situation. All right, everyone. I'll give it another couple of minutes, and then I think we can call it quits and end the recording. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for attending our webinar, spending your Tuesday afternoon with us. Feel free to follow up. We will be posting the recording of this webinar on our website, as well as the PowerPoint slides. So, and you can always email us as well if you have any questions. And our website has a wealth of information for you. Thanks again.